Dr. K. Narasimhan, Associate Professor, SEEE, to deliver the welcome address.
You are muted.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Esteemed guests, respected faculty members, and dear students. It's my honor and privilege to extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Shastra Deemed University, School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, to this faculty development program sponsored by AICTE on the digital revolution, innovation in neurodegenerative disorder diagnostic. We are delighted to have you join us for this enriching initiative, which aims to foster professional growth, spark innovation, and elevate the standards of teaching and research in our academic community. We are fortunately have with us distinguished speakers and experts who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in their respective field. Their insights and guidance will undoubtedly inspire and empower us to explore new ideas, methodologies, and technologies that can reshape how we teach, learn, and collaborate. To all the participants, I sincerely request your active engagement throughout the session, share your perspective, and make the most of the opportunity to learn, grow, and network with peers from diverse backgrounds. Together, let us create an environment of curiosity, collaboration, and innovation that will benefit not only our institutions but also the broader academic community. Once again, I welcome you all to this faculty development program and wish you a productive and inspiring learning experience. Let us embark on this journey of knowledge and transformation with enthusiasm and purpose. Thank you all. I look forward to a successful and enriching program ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone for today's session. Next, I invite Dr. K. Thainmozhi, Dean SEEE, to share her thoughts on institutional excellence and vision.
Distinguished resource persons, Shastra fraternity, participants from various institutions, research scholars, and student friends. Very good evening to you all. It's my pleasure to be a part of the inaugural function of the ATAL FDP on the digital revolution, innovations in neurodegenerative disorder diagnostics, which has been scheduled between 16th December and 21st December 2024 through online mode. Shastra, Shanmuga Arts, Science, Technology and Research Academy. Shastra Deemed University is a Category 1 university which offers undergraduate, postgraduate and doctoral programs in engineering, sciences, education, management, law and arts. Shastra has a vibrant population of self-motivated students and blended teaching faculty who have made Shastra a landmark in educational map of India. Shastra has achieved national standings in terms of academic performance, co-curricular and extracurricular activities, besides its commitment to social service. In recognition of its commitment to these, Shastra has been re-accredited with A++ grade with a score of 3.76 in a 4-point scale by the National Accreditation and Assessment Council. In a first-of-its-kind recognition, 12 engineering programs of Shastra have been accredited by Institution of Engineering and Technology IET UK for a period of 9 years. Shastra houses 2 technology business incubators supported by Government of India in the areas of additive manufacturing, Internet of Things, augmented reality and virtual reality, and medical devices and diagnostics. With 40 crore fund from MHI, Ministry of Heavy Industries, Shastra has established state-of-art facilities in robotics, electronic manufacturing, AR/VR, pre-compliance testing, and IoT in our Technology Development Center. I'm very happy to share that we are one among the 100 educational institutions who have received 5G use case lab from DOT, Government of India. Bajaj Autos has set up a Bajaj Engineering Skill Training Center BEST at our university to train engineering graduates and diploma holders in 4 domains such as mechatronics, motion control and sensor technology, automation and robotics, Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing, which are very much relevant to the industry requirements. Engineering is most sought after professional course to take society forward in harmony with environmental and other multidisciplinary perspectives and aspirations. The School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering (SEEE) at Shastra provides an excellent platform to bridge engineering with society. The strength of our school is our people. We have truly exceptional faculty, research scholars, students, alumni, staff, and a very supportive management team to make our school and institution a success. SEEE offers 7 UG and 4 PG programs and PhD in various domains of electrical sciences. Our school houses 40 academics and research laboratories. We educate the future generation of electrical and electronics engineering human resources in several niche areas like robotics and automation, power systems, power electronics and drives, high voltage engineering, electric vehicles, renewable energy, autonomous systems, signal and image processing, VLSI and embedded systems, nano sensor and devices, information security, IoT, artificial intelligence, and wireless communication systems. We offer traditional degrees with specialization in areas of national importance such as cyber physical systems, smart grid and electric vehicles, robotics and artificial intelligence, and VLSI design and technology. Our faculty push beyond conventional technological barriers to explore and innovate new frontier areas of research. The School of EEE is aiming to take leadership in trust areas through our collaborative research efforts with industries like GE, TVS Motor, Brakes India, Turbo Energy, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Power, Keysight Technologies, Siemens, and other reputed industries. We have 3 industry-supported laboratories such as RFCOE supported by Keysight Technologies, Electric Vehicle Engineering and Robotics Lab supported by Brakes India, and Intrusion Detection Lab supported by Tata Power ACD. SEEE has 2 research centers, Center of Excellence in RF System Engineering and Center of Nonlinear Science and Engineering. Our research efforts are supported by SERB DST, DOT, SPARK, ISRO, DRDO, CSIR, DBT, IGCAR, and other leading research organizations. We have strong academic and research collaborations with industries and institutions across the globe. We instill interest in our students to become innovators, academicians, entrepreneurs, and technical leaders through the impactful modern-day pedagogy. Research labs with state-of-art facilities become testimony to the growth of the school in research perspective. We encourage students besides the faculty to publish research articles in refereed journals. The combination of contemporary curriculum, world-class infrastructure, impactful pedagogy, conducive learning atmosphere, and effective assessment mechanisms is resulting in molding the next generation engineers to keep abreast with today's technological advancements and global demands. I wish to record my sincere acknowledgements to our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, respected Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and Dean Planning and Development, who have been continuously supporting us in all our endeavors. Our sincere thanks to AICTE for providing us an opportunity to organize this FDP. We would like to thank all the resource persons for immediately accepting our invitation to handle various technical sessions of this FDP in spite of their busy schedule. On behalf of SEEE, I congratulate and thank the coordinator of this ATAL FDP, Dr. K. Narasimhan, co-coordinator Dr. K. Adalarasu, and Secretary Dr. N. Raju for organizing this FDP on the topic, the digital revolution, innovations in neurodegenerative disorder diagnostics, which will be really very much helpful to the participants. I wish all the participants to have a great learning experience through this FDP. Have a good day. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting our institution's strength and vision. Now, I request Dr. A. Krishnamurthy, Associate Dean Academics, SEEE, to deliver his address to highlight the role of FDPs in enhancing academic standards.
Very good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. This is a more generic topic given to me after a formal inaugural address by our dean, I think this is emphasized to make people realize the importance of attending FDPs in the long run. On a lighter note, I would like to start with this. I have served in about 10 colleges, and some of the appointments I got were by attending FDPs only. My interaction in the FDP programs will be such that they'll be inclined to take me then. So that's so. So this is on a lighter note. Coming to the serious part of it, I am one of those people who believe strongly that learning is a continuous process. And every day, every moment we learn, every new thing that comes in any domain will add additional knowledge to us, enhancing the knowledge we have. So a lot of examples can be said in that, with more emphasis nowadays on collaborative research, networking, proposals, writing funding proposals, publishing quality papers, uh, innovation in teaching learning process, and all that. It's much better if the faculty members come together on a common umbrella like on FTP, wherein they can share their wonderful knowledge gained along with their experience. In addition to excellent networking, they can also innovate new and better ideas to uh, accelerate their research activities as well as publishing activities. So in this context, I am confident that this AICT Training and Learning Academy, ATAL, it is doing a lot of encouragement to the universities and institutions, and the online faculty development program organized by our School of EEE on the digital revolution, innovations in neurodegenerative disorder diagnostics would serve that purpose intended to. I'm happy to note that more than 100 participants are there in this online. I could see the number here coming across different sections of the institutions, for professors, faculty members, students, and all. So definitely the 1 week FDP we are going to have will be very useful to all the students, all the participants who are attending, and I wish a grand success to this faculty development program, and also the participants. I request the participants to have an active participation in it. There is no point in attending anything for the sake of doing it. We learn more when we actively involve ourselves more. So let there be more deliberations happening in the during the sessions on the points that are presented, so that the learning is complete in all aspects. Please don't leave any stone unturned. Let's try to have maximum information shared across, and let's reap the benefits of these FDP through our teaching learning process, as well as in our research oriented activities. So with these few words, I wish the organizers and the participants good luck, and let's achieve success together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed overview of the FTP and its importance. Now I request Dr. R. John Bosco Balaguru to provide the overview of the 6-day faculty development program. Now I invite once again Dr. K. Narasimhan, STP, to take us through the program agenda and objectives.
Thank you. Neurodegenerative disorder actually refers to the group of progressive diseases characterized by the gradual loss of structure or function of neuron, or even the death of neurons. These disorders primarily affect the central nervous system, which in turn affects cognitive, motor, and other functional impairments it causes. So the major focus of this FDP, why to choose this topic specifically, because neurodegenerative disorder pose a significant challenge in healthcare due to their complex nature and often late diagnosis. So in this regard only, image analysis, biosignal analysis, using signal processing, image analysis, and by using artificial intelligence tools like convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network comes into picture. So this FDP we have designed meticulously in such a way that initially we are focusing on the clinical perspectives of the neurodegenerative disorder with the first session by the clinician, followed by industrial experts from the Philips Healthcare to discuss about the MR images, because normally the other data in general with the JPEG images and other format of data, it's very easy to handle. But especially being an MRI image, which is a three-dimensional image, and normally it is in the form of a NIFTY format. Normally we used to say it's NIFTY format, and in DICOM. So we have facing severe challenges in this regard. So mitigate to understand the image acquisition and the image reading purpose. The second session we have arranged in such a way that to understand the process of MR image acquisition and handling of images. And the other sequence of lectures includes various state-of-art experts from industry and academia, where the strategies and nuances will be explored, particularly to early diagnosis and also for treatment planning, especially with respect to NDDs like Alzheimer's disease, which primarily affects the globe due to the increase in geriatric population. I mean to say elderly population is more and more increasing throughout the world. With those who are primarily affected because of the Alzheimer's disease. So in general, Alzheimer, Parkinson, starting from Alzheimer, Parkinson, and all the sleep disorders and all the attention deficit hyperactive disorder, related neurodegenerative disorder, we are going to discuss in a series of 11 lectures, including one by the clinician and one by the MR image specialist. So the objectives of this FDP in general to provide an in-depth understanding of neurodegenerative disorder and their global impact, to explore the role of artificial intelligence in enhancing diagnosis, accuracy, and treatment planning, to foster interdisciplinary knowledge exchange between the medical professional and technology experts, to demonstrate AI application in various aspects of neurodiagnostics. In nutshell, I expect the participants to get the enhanced outcome by completely understanding the data handling process and the disease biological process of the disease, which helps us to design a novel AI-based system as well as explainable AI system, which is now demanding in the current trend, because doctors no longer believe on the AI system, which has been black box earlier. Now we are expecting for the transparency in the AI system, which is put forward by the explainable AI. In conclusion, the FDP bridges the gap between the clinical expertise and technological advancement, paving the way for innovative diagnostic solution in neurodegenerative disorders. By fostering collaboration and knowledge sharing, this program aims to drive impactful research and improve patient outcome in the realm of neurological healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I welcome Dr. R. Raghavendran, sir, to this inaugural session. So now I request Dr. R. John Bosco Palaguru, Dean Sponsored Research, to deliver the inaugural address.
distinguished speakers, dear colleagues, delegates, and student friends, a very good evening to you all. On behalf of Sastra, I welcome you all for this ATAL supported online FDP on the digital revolution, that is innovation in neurodegenerative disorder diagnostics. This event represents a huge step forward in tackling one of the modern healthcare most important challenges, that is the timely and accurate diagnosis of neurodegenerative disorders. Millions of people throughout the world suffer from neurodegenerative disorders such as Parkinson's diseases, Alzheimer's, epilepsy, brain tumors, etc., etc., which not only is a burden for an individual life, but also plays a significant burden on families and the overall healthcare systems. So there is an immediate need to detect the onset of such neurodegenerative disorders. Today, artificial intelligence, which is almost omnipresent, has emerged as a game changer with the tremendous prospects to transform neurodiagnostics. AI-powered tools allow us to spot subtle trends in patient data, making early diagnosis not only a possibility, but a reality. So the possibilities are endless, ranging from better imaging techniques for brain tumors to AI-driven EEG analysis for epilepsy. So the convergence of AI and neurodiagnostics is about more than simply algorithms and data. It is about restoring hope, expanding care, and building a brighter future for those impacted by neurodegenerative disorders. This program demonstrates the revolutionary influence of technology in healthcare. This FDP brings together an outstanding group of minds, that is medical professionals, research communities from universities, colleges, as well as from industries, and we are eagerly waiting for their talks. It is an interdisciplinary endeavor that aims to close the gap between clinical requirements and technical progress. Throughout this program, we will look at how AI can improve not only diagnostic accuracy, but also treatment options, paving the way for better results for patients and their families. So at this time, I join you all in congratulating the organizing committee, especially the coordinator, Dr. K. Narasimhan, Dr. Adalarasu, and Dr. N. Raju for conducting this type of a faculty development program. And I express my sincere gratitude to all the speakers who have cordially accepted to share their knowledge and experience. And I strongly hope that your insights will definitely inspire and empower people to push the boundaries of neurodiagnostics. My sincere thanks to all participants who are the torchbearers of this scientific technological movement, and the knowledge and abilities you gain here will shape not only your personal experiences but also the larger area of healthcare. I encourage you all to participate actively, collaborate openly, and question assumptions, and therefore the innovation thrives in a culture of inquiry and exchange. With this objective in mind, I am very happy to officially inaugurate this faculty development program, and let us make use of this opportunity to learn, invent, and contribute. Thank you all, and I hope you all will have a fruitful and inspiring program. Good evening. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words and for inaugurating this transformating program. To conclude this session, I invite Dr. K. Adalarasu, Professor SEEE, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected esteemed guests, dear participants and colleagues, good evening to all. it is my great privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the inaugural function of 6 days online faculty development program, the Digital Revolution Innovation in Neurodegenerative Disorders Diagnostics, sponsored by AICTE. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our management to supporting for conducting these events. We also extend our sincere thanks to our special invitees and the resource person who agreed to give the lecture despite their busy schedule. Your presence representing some of the most reputed academic institutes, industrials, and global organizations underscore the importance of this program. Your insight on the challenges, breakthrough, and the future opportunities in the field have set a strong foundation for the session to come. I special thanks to AICT for their generous sponsorship, which has made this FTP possible. Your commitment to enhancing the knowledge and the skill of faculty members is commendable, and we are grateful for this opportunity to be a part of this enriching program. I would also like to acknowledge the effect of organizing team and coordinators who have worked tirelessly behind this scheme to make this event a reality. Last but certainly not least, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined us for this 6 days journey. Your enthusiasm and eagerness to learn are what makes such a program meaningful, and we are confident that you will take full advantage of these opportunities to enhance your knowledge in the field of neurodegenerative disorder diagnostics. Once again, thank you to everyone for making this event grand success. I wish all of you fruitful and productivity FTP experience. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for expressing gratitude to all who contributed to making this session possible. With that, we come to the conclusion of the inaugural session. We sincerely thank all the dignitaries, participants, and other organizing members. For further proceedings, we would like all participants to stay connected for the upcoming sessions. Wishing you all a productive and inspiring FDP ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all. Participants, please stay back. We will start the first session in 2 minutes, please. Dear all, let us start the first session of our faculty development program. Today we have with us Professor Dr. Raghavendran sir. We are privileged to have in this FDP. I'm very happy to read the very high profile of Professor and Director, Department of Neurosurgery, Madras Medical College. So Dr. Raghavendran sir, he has completed his MBBS from Madras Medical College, a MS in General Surgery and a MCH. He is specialized in vascular neurosurgical procedure for the management of intracranial microaneurysm, and he has also received many awards: Young Neurosurgeon of Year 2006, Kalyana Raman Award of Excellence 2005, and he is also University Gold Medalist in MCH, Best Doctor Award from Government of Tamil Nadu, Medical Excellence Award for Outstanding Contribution in COVID Management. He is also a secretary in Neuro Association in Chennai and founding EC members of DANCE. He is a member of Brain Death Committee and TransTran. So it's our privilege to have with us Dr. Raghavendran sir to get his insights and experience. Over to Dr. sir. Thank you.
So good evening, everyone.
You can share your screen, sir. Let me stop my sharing.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. You can share your screen.
So present now. Allowed to share window.
Present now, yes, sir.
Share this window. So am I audible and screen is visible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. Kindly put your PPT in full screen mode, sir, please.
It's already there in the full screen mode.
It's not yet to become visible. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Is this now fine?
It's not. Renuka ma'am, is it visible for you? Screen?
Sir, no, sir.
1 minute, ma'am. I don't know what is happening. Is it now?
No, sir.
So well, my screen is being shared, right? Just a minute. You able to see the screen? Sharing your
Just a minute, sir.
I'll stop presenting and open again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it says present now. Allowed to share screen. Now the screen is visible.
Just a minute. Yes, sir. You can start sharing your screen. You can. It's not visible.
Oh, something is wrong here. Now is it okay?
For me, it's, Renuka ma'am, can you see it? Adal Arsu sir, please.
Is it visible now?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
It's presenter.
Not visible, sir.
Just a moment now. I don't know what is happening. So what do I do here? I can't. You must grant
You
permission.
share
in order
the
to share
PPT
your
to
screen.
me. I will share it.
So how do I send it, sir?
maybe to WhatsApp or?
Shall I send it to your mail, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
sorry to interrupt, sir. If you try to share the entire screen, the PPT will be viewed, sir. Stop sharing and try to share the entire screen, sir.
It says allowed to share screen. Allowed to share
Now it's
window.
allowed. Yeah, you try now, please.
Allowed to share window. Right.
Yes.
That I have done. Share this window.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
click that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, it's coming, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Fine. Now it is okay.
It's not visible. It's not readable.
Now
It's loading, sir.
it's loading. Are you able to see, sir?
No.
Okay. Just a moment, sir. I'll send it across in my mail. Can you please tell me the?
Even this screen is visible, sir.
sir. I
Now.
think if you open the PPT, it will be visible.
Yeah. Now your mail is
Now
becoming
your
visible
mail
for
is
us, sir.
visible. Your entire screen is visible now, sir.
Okay, then where is the problem?
Sir, you can start presenting, sir. You can just open up your PPT and just go ahead, sir. It's visible to us. Your entire
Yes, sir.
screen is visible. You please go ahead, sir.
Fine. You are able to see. Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Open the PPT and go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Please. So now it is open. You are able to see this.
Go to the PPT window screen tab.
Now it is visible.
No, sir. No, sir.
Sir, I'll send
Not
my mail
visible,
to you, sir.
sir.
Just a moment. Just a moment, sir. I'll send it by mail to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, mail ID, please.
I'll send you the text. knr@ec.shastra.edu.
KNR.
KNR.
Okay.
But your screen is visible, sir. Actually, while opening
KNR
at ECE.
at
ECE.
Yes.
.shastra.edu.
.edu. Right. I've sent it, sir, but you are able to see the screen. Then is this fine, sir?
Sir, actually, you are sharing only the browser window, sir. Only your browser window. Could you please share the entire screen? It will do, or else please open up the PPT and then go for sharing, sir.
I have already kept it open only, sir. But generally, I
Then
do
you
this.
please keep it in full screen mode. You can just alt tab and then you just select that particular window alone, your PPT window alone.
Your PPT is minimized, I think, sir.
No, sir, it
Please
is open
keep it
only.
open. Yeah.
But usually I do this, I don't have any issues. Now, allow to share screen. That is what I should do.
Yeah.
Allow to share window. Share this window.
So in the notification,
Last
allow
window,
to share
the
window,
entire
you
screen.
should see your PPT window also.
Yes. Now it is fine, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it's
Now it is visible.
Now it's
Visible, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
I'll do it this way only.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So good evening, everyone. And thank you for that very generous introduction. And I am Dr. Raghavendran. I am Director and Professor, Institute of Neurosurgery, Madras Medical College. Actually, I am not well, so please bear my voice today. So it has been an immense pleasure to be associated with all of you, and I carry warm regards and greetings from my Institute of Neurosurgery. And to be very frank, I mean, the first association was with Shastra was my sister, younger sister, did her ME in Power Electronics and Drives from Shastra. And during the COVID time, I had the pleasure to interact with a lot of people. From Shastra, we had a lot of small gadgets and other things which we had put into patient use. We gave feedback, and based on that, lot of innovations were being done by Shastra. And it's a great institute, and I'm really honored and privileged to be part of this program. And I extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the Chief Patron and Vice Chancellor, patrons, Dr. Chandramouli, Dr. Swaminathan, Deans, Dr. John Bosco Balaguru, Dr. K. Tenmoli, Dr. K. Sridhar, and my heartfelt thanks to the coordinators, Dr. K. Narasimhan, who has been constantly in touch with me, Dr. K. Adalarasu, and Dr. N. Raju. So thank you so much for inviting me, and feels good to be part of a highly achieved academic group. So going into today's topic, as I already mentioned, people consider me as born and brought up in Madras Medical College. I came here as a 17-year-old boy, and I am 51 now. I've continued to be here throughout, completing all my studies and came here. So today's topic, tell you, is neurodegenerative disorders. It is considered a global challenge, not for anything less. It has almost encompassed the whole world. It has spread its tentacles towards everyone, unassuming people, intellect people, across race, across economy, across everything. Yes, we do see its rise in certain small pockets, but it is definitely a global challenge. And the main problem with this neurodegenerative disorder is two things. One is there is a structural loss of functioning neurons in the human body, and that it is associated with a cognitive decline. There are many other diseases involving the spinal cord or the hereditary paraplegia, a lot of things that generally involve either the peripheral nervous system, so that the cognition of the person remains the same. He is fully alert and cognitive. But here, this neurodegenerative disorder is a progressive, relentlessly progressing disease without any capable mechanism as on date to halt the progression of the disease. That involves cognitive decline also. This cognitive decline is usually considered as a behavioral change by the old people, and it puts the entire family into a lot of anxiety, and not only physical but economic burden also. So that is the problem we face today, and it is ever increasing. The incidence, the proportionate is continuously increase on the rise. And the problem what we face is today, yes, we are able to manage these diseases, but only will give symptomatic relief. That is what we are able to give now, whether it is Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or Huntington's disease. We are able to alleviate symptoms to a certain extent. In the sense that, if you take Parkinson's, for example, we are as on date with only levodopa. Yes, we do have surgical options like deep brain stimulation and other things, but we are left with levodopa, and this medicine has a maximum tolerable limit. So what we do is, if we diagnose somebody at the age of 50, we generally estimate a life expectancy of another 25, 30 to 40 years, not the normal one. For Parkinson's, yes, it should be less, at least 20 to 25 years. And this medicine has a maximum tolerable limit. So to give them that best symptomatic relief right at the beginning by using a higher dose, we don't do. Because we want to stretch this dose limit to a maximum possible life expectancy years. So we always undertreat them. If he will be optimal at 400 milligrams, we deliberately give him only 300 so that he is able to manage his daily life. The other thing which we do is all these neurodegenerative disorders, we slightly underdiagnose them. We know it is a very early stage, but still we are not inclined to start that medication right at the beginning itself. We'll try to postpone it. Again, stretch this particular medicine to its maximum tolerable limit. So that is the problem. Even though the medicines today are able to give symptomatic relief, we are unable to give that full relief because of these problems. And the other major concern with this neurodegenerative disorders is we have not yet identified the root cause. Yes, we know this is the problem. Scan shows these things, image shows those things, biochemical parameters are different, but we have still not identified why such things happen in the first place. And the other need is we have to not only give neuroprotection to people who are susceptible for this to prevent them from getting into this problem, but at the same time, for patients who have already had this degeneration, we need to give neuro restoration. That is the primary issue. So the disease burden, if you see in the past 20 years, 90 to 2019, 4 major regions of the globe have had a maximum increase. One is East Asia, particularly the Chinese belt, then the tropical Latin America, Southern Latin America, and Western Europe. And if you look at specifically the countries which are maximum affected, it is China, Ecuador, and Italy, a very different combination from different geographical locations. Of course, it has been argued that countries which have developed early diagnostic mechanisms have shown a slightly higher incidence. It's not the entire truth also. So this slide shows the dark red is 90%. So the basic problem what we face is to take all risk factors across, all the red is in high body mass index, high fasting plasma glucose, basically the metabolic risks. And the dark green is on the better side, tobacco and smoking, behavioral risk, and alcohol use, which is on the rise. And alcohol abuse, binging, taking large quantity of alcohol has been considered a major risk factor in the increased incidence of these neurodegenerative disorders affecting younger people. So if you look at the regions, again, these dark reds, it is all these metabolic issues, that is this obesity, sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, that has been the problem across the world. And this is a very important slide which I want everyone. Across the age, this is the incident rate of 100,000 people. So here if you see this purple, the anxiety disorders, it slightly climbs and then comes down as the year progresses. The orange is the depressive disorders. It reaches its peak around that 30, and there is a slight modification. It remains the same throughout until the end of 95 plus years. This orange, the headache disorders, which are the maximum. Generally we consider these headache disorders manifest as anxiety. It has its peaks around the 40, then comes down, another peak at 70. But this light blue, which is stroke, the most important aspect is this dark blue, which is Alzheimer's, which has shown a steady increase after 60, 65, exponentially increases, and that becomes a real social problem for the entire family. And so if you consider the specific neurological disorders that has shown largest increase, one is Parkinson, the other one is idiopathic epilepsy, the third is bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, and psychotropic disorders. If you see the disability adjusted life years index, again the largest increase is seen in Alzheimer's and other dementias, followed closely by Parkinson's disease and the headache disorders. And this is the global burden what we face today. Again, disability adjusted life years, if you again look at this, the maximum peak, if you follow this line, is for Alzheimer's disease. It is not seen anywhere up to that 50 plus, where it slightly shows its small, and then it continues to rise vertically and reaches a high at 95 plus years. And stroke also at the same time slowly starts losing out to Alzheimer's as age progresses. Up to the age of 80, stroke is in the front, and then it becomes Alzheimer's, and that is where we all face these problems. The cognitive decline associated with the lack of physical ability is a very big challenge. So the risk factors which we consider are high fasting plasma glucose, high body mass index. Both of these when combined, there's a lot of other risk factors. Of course, the other risk factors associated are the population growth, aging population, increase in life expectancy, and associated risk factor exposure. So if we look at the socio-economic development, has it helped in these neurodegenerative disorders? No is the answer. Environmental pollution, particularly air pollution, has been considered as one of the major risk factors for development of Parkinson's disease. This environmental pollution, socio-economic development has led to lifestyle changes. Of course, places, regions, geographical regions where this environmental, socio-economic development is more, sees more lifestyle changes, at the same time had better diagnostic methods so that they are diagnosed early, that also partially contributes to the higher incidence. But at the same time, the socio-economic development side by side leads to metabolic risk factors and poor lifestyle like smoking, lack of exercise, obesity, the two most important cornerstones, the diabetes and hypertension. All of these separately has a very high risk factor when it is often found today that you see lifestyle changes, smoking, lack of exercise, obesity, diabetes, hypertension existing in many of these patients which we see of late. So what does these metabolic parameters or the metabolic changes does is it gives two types of stress. One is the ROS or the oxidative stress, where the oxygen superradicals are formed, excessive reacting oxygen species, and RNS is nitrosative stress, which is excess reactive nitrogen species. So when these become predominantly in a higher number within the cellular cytoplasm, cellular mechanism, the defense system of the cellular antioxidant defense system succumbs. It can fight to a certain extent, but when the reactive ROS and RNS are overwhelming the defense system, at some point of time, it fails. So now we look into two different issues here, where the antioxidant cellular defense mechanism fails. There is something called a static one, which is age-related or because of metabolic. Some particular metabolite is causing a gradual decline. There is diffuse cerebral atrophy because of age or toxic reasons, where this atrophy is generalized. But in neurodegenerative disorders, it affects specific neuronal groupings like substantia nigra and Parkinson's. So these specific neuronal groupings, when they get affected, they present with specific symptomatology, presentation, they develop specific complications, they in turn start affecting the surrounding microenvironment and leading to additional complications as well. So coming back to the traditional treatments, they give symptomatic management, yes, but we are not inclined to fully go into it, not give that maximum benefit to the patient. But it is because it is exhausted by a tolerable dose limit beyond which we are not able to give. So there are strategies, two different strategies. One is the pharmacological strategy. That is, we need to understand the neuromolecular mechanisms. And there is an urgent need to develop novel drugs that target proteins, the bioproteins, which are actually the killer in such places. At the same time, Non-pharmacological, like the comprehensive rehabilitation centers, increased aerobic activity, cognitive training, and occupational therapy. These improve the environmental adaptability and enhance daily life function. For example, let us assume a patient with a stroke. Where does this cognitive training comes into play? Because, for example, let us assume one of us, a doctor who has a high cognitive ability. He has developed a hemiplegia. He is slowly recovering. He is able to walk with support, maybe 10 to 15 feet at a time. But its mind is so fast, it works at the previous speed. By the time this person is able to walk this 10 feet, previously he would have walked 50, 60 feet and his mind would be at that speed. If this cognitive ability is not brought down to match his physical ability, then there will be recurrent falls, depression, anxiety, and so many other issues. That is where this cognitive training comes into play. But this neurodegenerative disorders, we have a bigger problem because there is not only a physical ability reduction, but the cognitive reduction is also there, and we are not able to do a cognitive training and match the physical ability with the cognitive ability. That is where this non-pharmacological mechanisms, yes, we need to improve, we need to be more, bring in more ideas so that we can match this and help the patients as well. So we do have limitations and challenges. The limitation is disease modification. We are able to give symptomatic relief. We are unable to find the root cause so that it can be modified. It will not manifest, or even after it has manifested, it can be modified. The relentless progression can be arrested at some point of time. The other limitation challenges is whatever new drugs we find, yes, it works to a certain extent, but at the same time, the adverse effects they produce makes it very difficult to prescribe them. And as I told you already, the motor symptoms, physical disability, which is associated with this cognitive and psychiatric disturbance, is a very big challenge. And today, we lack disease-modifying drugs and access to rehabilitation. See, let me tell you, if you want to go to a good neurorehabilitation center, our state has only one. If you can take the whole of the country, probably good neuro rehab center is hardly 6 or 7. All other places, yes, they mainly concentrate on this physical ability, physiotherapy and other things. Neuro rehabilitation, access to them is very difficult, and to get a bed in those places is even more difficult. And at the same time, it has high healthcare costs because at some point of time, these degenerative patients are not covered by insurance. So now we come to what are the emerging trends. Let me tell you very clearly that these are not emerging trends or new as on date. We've been trying this for quite some time, and these are the things which are holding some promise towards the future. A lot of things have been tried, so these are still considered as emerging trends because they've shown some promise, and we have still not hit the right button to use them. So they are mainly this stem cell therapy, gene therapy, immunotherapy, neurotropic factors, and most recently the RNA interference. So if you look at the stem cell therapy, the basic system is embryonic stem cell, but it is derived from human embryos. The most important aspect is its potential to differentiate into various cell types. So this embryonic stem cell can become any type of cell. It can be made to differentiate into any type of cell. Whatever cell is needed, that can be replaced, including the neurons. But at the same time, since these are at the embryonic stage, they have a propensity at a later date to develop a teratoma or a tumor formation. And most importantly, these cells can be obtained only by sacrificing human embryos, and so there is a huge ethical consideration here because of this destruction of human embryos, and as such it's become very difficult to use this. The other almost equivalent to this embryonic is induced pluripotent stem cells. These are generated It's not from the human embryo. These are generated by reprogramming one adult somatic cells to exhibit these pluripotent properties. Pluripotent properties is the ability to differentiate into any type of cells. And this is considered as an alternative to the embryonic stem cells. But the efficacy and safety has not yet been very clear. The other one is the mesenchymal stem cells. They are derived from the stromal compartment of the bone marrow. The bone marrow, from there, can take these cells, these mesenchymal cells, and induce them to differentiate into various other cell types, including the neurons. The most important aspect is they are immunomodulatory. They have neuroprotective action in the sense that they will protect from somebody acquiring this disease, and is definitely a promising option which people are looking into it. The other type is neural stem cells, which are taken from the brain, the subventricular zone and the subgranular zone. They can differentiate into neurons and glial cells. That is where we are looking into it, the neurodegenerative disorders. They are able to differentiate into neurons and glial cells, the neuron, astrocytes, and oligodendrocytes, ependymal cells. And the most important thing is they can be equipped with the ability to develop or secrete a neurotransmitter. Because these neurodegenerative disorders, ultimately they come to either the lack or more secretion of neurotransmitters. For example, deficiency of dopamine leads to Parkinson's disease. So when these cells can be made to secrete these neurotransmitters, it is really a boon. So this is how the source of stem cell, isolated, cultured, differentiated into the cell types it needs, and it can be transplanted in various other ways into the human body. So how do these work? They can replace damaged cells. They can repair injured neuronal tissue. They can replace these damaged or lost cells with differentiated cells, thereby leading to restoration of not only the structure, but also the functional aspect of the human brain. So how do they act? They create a conducive environment. These stem cells create a conducive environment, and this supportive environment favors regeneration of the lost neurons most often. That is what is mainly important. See, neuroprotection is prevention of degeneration. That is on one aspect. The other aspect is these damaged neurons have to regenerate. That is also very important. So once it starts regeneration, on the other side, it promotes growth of healthy neurons also, thereby shielding these neurons from further damage. The lost neurons are regenerated, the present good neurons are prevented from degeneration. The other thing is they also offer neurotropic support. Neurotropics are the small elements which are, small chemicals which are released so that they help these growth factors and other proteins. They improve cognitive function, they alleviate symptoms, and they promote growth and survival of neurons. And the other important aspect is they help in immunomodulation also. How does immunomodulation help is, it enhances endogenous repair mechanisms, it protects the injured central nervous system, and thereby it enhances the body's natural repair processes. So that is how the stem cell therapy helps. It helps in creating a conducive environment, regeneration, prevents degeneration, provides neurotropic support, helps in growth and survival of neurons, which definitely increases the cognitive symptoms, and in immunomodulation also. And many times, it directly replaces the damaged neurons with healthy ones and restoration of brain function, as I have already mentioned. So these mesenchymal stem cells have shown promising results in Parkinson's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and this in stroke and other aspects as well, which are being studied at a pace. So there are certain advantages for this stem cell therapy. As I mentioned, cell replacement and repair, neurotropic support, it decreases neuroinflammation. Anything else which we do, for example, a drug or whatever it is we are giving to the patient, definitely has some side. If it doesn't act, if it is an inert substance, it doesn't act at all. There is decreased neuroinflammation. Neuroinflammation has been the main problem for Parkinson's disease and other NDDs as well, which is a common characteristic. And it activates the endogenous stem cells which has been lying dormant. These stem cells were injected. They are scientifically proven to activate the endogenous stem cells. And it also aids in repair and regeneration. But at the same time, the disadvantages are embryonic stem cells, yes, they raise ethical issues. There is a possibility of immune rejection because the cells that are being injected are non-autologous stem cells. There is a risk of tumor formation because the stem cells, once induced, they have a very high proliferation rate, and there is always, although less, there is always a risk of tumor formation. And treatment-related mortality is the biggest issue that has been stopping the progression in research into stem cell therapy. And cell transplantation also has a substantial treatment-related mortality. These are the biggest disadvantages of stem cell therapy which we see today. So the potential risks are limited clinical application because these stem cells have a very short half-life and it gets cleared very rapidly. And the repetitive replenishment of these stem cells is a big issue. And other thing is we are unable as on date. So these are the things which we look into research to provide us the answers. Not able to deliver the required payload of stem cells into that particular target site. And we do have the safety concerns. And the stem cell at the same time provides a conducive environment, provides supporting environment, but at the same it is not everything good alone. It also influences negatively the surrounding microenvironment and surrounding tissues, and that is a big challenge which has to be mitigated. So challenges is and the low efficiency of survival, not only the short half-life, rapid clearance, insufficient payload, the efficiency is also not good. So the research needs to focus in stem cell therapy towards enhancing the safety, increasing the potency, stabilize the genetics. Immunogenicity should be zero, otherwise it doesn't work. Tumorigenicity should be reduced. It should be reproducible. But for one patient, this particular thing we are doing, for the next patient, when it should give the same effect. If not, if there is no reproducibility, then it becomes useless when we consider a particular disease, and it should be at a scalability. This much will cost this much. Then only we can grade, match as per the patient's need and deliver the dose. So the next important aspect which we look for is gene therapy for neurodegenerative disorders. It is showing significant promise. It has definitely shown therapeutic benefits to Parkinson's, Huntington's and Alzheimer's. So the mechanism by which it acts is it corrects pathogenic mechanisms. It offers neuroprotection, prevents the cells from developing NDD, restoration of the damaged neurons, and at the same time, it gives very good symptomatic relief. The one difference between the stem cell therapy, it needs a continuous infusion, low half-life, needs to be replenished repeatedly so that we can have a reasonable symptomatic relief. But at the same time, most important difference is gene therapy will manage the symptoms, will give clear-cut symptomatic relief. So there are certain things. Intentionally, we modify the gene expression in specific cells by introducing exogenous nucleic acids. That is how a gene therapy works. And to deliver, we need carriers or vectors. And there are vectors are again divided into viral and this non-viral vectors. So viral vectors, as we all know, has significant potential in treating genetic disorders, but they are also associated with infusion-associated reactions, because that questions the safety and efficacy of gene therapy. And the other important aspect is they lead to production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, generation of neutralizing antibodies within the human body, and T-cell responses that can ultimately interfere and collapse the gene therapy concept at all. So if you look at the non-viral vectors, these are polymers, lipids, and inorganic particles have been a rapidly advancing area in gene delivery research, and we are really looking forward to this because they have low cytotoxicity, immunogenic capacity is less, mutation is less, there is no mutation, making them an appealing option for gene therapy. But the challenges are whether the non-viral vectors can have the same gene transfer efficiency, specificity, and express the gene for the duration for which we require. So the idea is delivering exogenic nucleic acids into target cells to improve their uptake by intracellular traffic and making them express in the presence of the other gene. That is the main idea today. So types of gene therapy is gene addition therapy, introducing a normal copy of a gene. When a gene is abnormal or defective, we introduce a normal copy of a gene into the cell to compensate. These are called single gene mutations. Gene editing, it is modify a specific gene within a cell. That is to correct mutations or insert a new gene. Previously, gene addition is introducing a normal gene sequence. Gene editing is correct the mutation or insert a new gene which will correct the mutation or edit the existing genes. The third aspect is gene silencing. It employs small interfering RNAs. We'll look at it later to suppress expression of specific genes. We want certain proteins not to be produced at all. So we want to keep that particular gene silent from doing any action. So this is how genetic disorders that are caused by overexpression of certain genes are treated. And finally, we have the gene correction therapy. This approach aims to correct the mutations that is responsible for a genetic disorder. So again, we face a lot of challenges because the delivery methods ensuring efficient and targeted delivery of therapeutic genes to relevant tissues, even a few millimeter away, may cause havoc. Relevant tissue without causing off-target effects or triggering immune response. That is one. And safety and efficacy is a question when we have a priority of sustained and effective expression. There are, of course, regulatory hurdles across countries, across continents. The specificity and control is another important aspect. Achieving precise control over gene expression. Because once we achieve by priority an optimal gene control, more or less it leads to overexpression of the gene at some point of time, lead to unintended consequences like development of a cancer. And developing a proper vector by optimizing the design and production of viral and non-viral vectors, and biomarker development. Developing effective biomarkers, we need to know, we have given a gene therapy, we should find a way whether it is working or not. Sometimes the patient have good symptomatological improvement, but we need to see whether the gene therapy which we have introduced is giving a positive aspect or doing something positive in that particular target site so that we can be sure that it is. So if you look at the potential benefits, it gives permanent cure. More or less it gives permanent cure. Because whatever, whether it is gene editing, silencing or whatever it is, and thereby it improves the quality of life, reduces the economic burden, gives relief to the patient, confidence to the patient, hope to the patient. And when something gives you permanent cure, it reduces the recurrent healthcare cost, and it can be customized. If you want gene editing, if you want gene silencing, whatever it is, sir, can be customized. So it reduces the burden not only on the patient but also on the caregivers and families. And we need to look at advanced methodologies to do this gene therapy, but it is also associated with certain risks. Can sometimes lead to inflammation, which can cause potential tissue damage. As I already mentioned, the genes can be introduced to a target that is different from the one that we intended to, that lead to a lot of behavioral disturbances. And we do not have reliable biomarkers to the to study the effectiveness of this gene therapy. And of course, concern of cancer is there, and delivery challenges is also there. The next important aspect is immunotherapy. So we have two things like direct immunotherapy and indirect immunotherapy. Direct immunotherapy slow or prevent disease expression. It basically aims to reduce protein accumulation. We have found out that it is this, I'll come to that later, protein accumulations that cause the toxic effects. So active immunization is introduction of an exogenous substance to stimulate the immune system like a vaccine and initiate a response. Passive immunization is directly introducing this, whatever the human body has to do, has to express, that itself is directly introduced in the human body, so that there is no need for the time lag for it to develop this defense mechanism. In active immunization, there is a time lag, this develops, then it starts fighting. But that is the most important and permanent, the active one. Passive immunization helps to cross until the active immunization develops. It is immunization. The other thing is neurotropic factors. The most maximum potential, apart from the RNA interference, is now seen with these neurotropic factors. These are growth factors that regulate differentiation and support growth in the nervous system. Mainly they are this neurotropin. One is the nerve growth factor, 2 is the brain derived, then we have 3 and 4. So they all bind to the tyrosine receptor kinase, which is the main enzyme. This enzyme is the balance between neuronal survival and death. So once it is bound to that, it can alter in either way. It can either reduce this neuronal death when that is the problem, or it can accelerate that particular group of neuronal death so that the patient the symptoms are alleviated. Neurotropins are essential for memory acquisition. This is where the cognitive aspect comes into play. Memory acquisition, retention, long-term potentiation of memory, and cholinergic innervation throughout adulthood. And when these start declining or lack of it towards the end, then that becomes the problem. That is where the neurotropic helps. So the neurotropic factors can be ideally customized so that they can target selective neuron types. So these are definitely promising therapeutic agents for neurodegenerative disorders. Particularly, they are showing promise in amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, peripheral neuropathy, and of course in Parkinson's disease, where these neurotropic factors hold a. So where should the future studies look into? Stem cells have a superior advantage due to their lack of cytotoxic concerns and transgene size limitations. That is very important. But viral vectors have a low risk of tumor and glial scar formation. So these are the two important aspects. So to effectively combine these loaded biomaterial systems with natural and synthetic substances is more efficient. So the future studies should focus on improving stem cell based vectors and viral vectors, optimizing cellular, viral, and biomaterial systems. That is where we should look for. The other aspect is RNA interference, which is upcoming field now. Major advantages, it is naturally occurring. RNA is naturally occurring. It is evolutionarily conserved biological process. It controls gene expression and acts as an inherent defense mechanism against viral infection. So RNAi is the new gene regulation mechanism, like a gene therapy, a targeted, sophisticated, multi-pronged gene therapy-like mechanism that can suppress the transcription, trigger a sequence-specific degradation, reduce the number of transcript produced. It does all of these things without a new specific gene that needs to be introduced. For example, the tau protein is the cause for the neurofibrillary triangles that leads to accumulation of amyloid peptides. And this accumulation of amyloid peptide is the pivotal feature of Alzheimer's disease. These accumulations lead to neurotoxicity and brain inflammation, which ultimately leads to gross memory disturbances and producing all these clinical manifestations. So, the objective in Alzheimer's disease treatment is to reduce synthesis of this particular tau protein or the amyloid peptides. How do you reduce amyloid peptides? by some mechanism, you reduce the production of this tau protein, this neurofibrillary triangle. So this leads to, where is the problem in Alzheimer's disease? The clearance of this protein, tau protein, leads to build up in the cellular proteins within the dopaminergic neurons of the substantia nigra. And these form the distinctive aggregates in the Lewy bodies. The key constituents of Lewy bodies is synuclein. In Alzheimer's disease, it's the tau protein. Here it is the synuclein. When it is excessively expressed or altered, prone to aggregation, same neurofibrillary triangle, and that becomes hazardous. So the research today is find a mechanism to suppress synuclein expression. That is a potential therapeutic target. So enhancing the lifespan of dopaminergic neurons, reducing pro-apoptic markers associated with PD pathogenesis through RNA. So same thing in Huntington's disease. So major problem worldwide. Huntingtin is the protein that is very crucial. If there is no Huntingtin, there is no brain development. So if you try to target, completely neutralize this Huntington, suppressing both normal and mutant, it inflicts significant damage on the adult brain because the brain development itself is affected. So the need is to develop allele-specific silencing techniques that selectively target the mutant allele alone while sparing the normal one, so that the normal one contributes to the normal brain development. The flexibility of these silencing, even when the disease and normal alleles differ by a single nucleotide. So in certain disorders, if you look at it, RNA, where it comes is even partial.
I'm sorry, sir. Just a minute, sir. Satyavani, madam, please kindly mute your mic. Satyavani, madam, kindly mute your mic, please. Satyavani, madam, can you hear me? Madam, Satyavani, madam, kindly mute your mic. Madam, please kindly mute your. Madam, if any of your friends are there, please kindly inform her to mute her mic.
Fine, sir, we'll proceed. So if you look at this, in certain disorders, even a partial reduction of the molecular target is not only sufficient for normalizing, but is also desirable, as it allows for retention of, for example, in Huntington, because it is only the mutant protein that needs to be neutralized and suppressed, because the other normal Huntington is the base for brain development. As it allows for retention of some protein production to support regular cellular function. That is one point. However, for some disorders, complete elimination of the molecular target from every cell is necessary. This can be challenging with current RNA delivery methods, which will be able to do. So to conclude, the current therapeutic interventions predominantly focus on symptomatic relief and fall way short of addressing the root cause of these conditions, because we have still not identified the root cause. We know this protein is producing this problem, that protein is producing this problem, this is another problem, but it is not there. So the emerging therapies, they are holding great promise. Lot have been tried, but some which I have mentioned here hold some promise in reshaping the landscape for NDD. These innovative approaches target pathological processes, providing avenues for neuroprotection and at the same time facilitate neurorestoration. But we do have a lot of hurdles. Most important is delivery methods, safety concerns, regulatory authority intricacies, the need to develop reliable biomarkers. All of these pose significant challenges to these therapies. So the future of
Sir, am I audible?
No.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you hear me? Just a minute,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir, you are not audible. You have muted your mic.
Sir, not audible, sir.
Now only. Sir, am I audible? Sir, Raghavendran, sir, you are not audible. I think you are muted your mic. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. I will make a call to him and make. Just unmute your mic, sir. Yeah. Unmute your mic, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, now it is fine. Is it now fine? I'm
Yes,
towards
sir.
my last slide, sir. So to conclude, now I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the current therapeutic interventions predominantly focus on symptomatic relief alone and fall short of addressing root cause because we don't know what the root cause is. Emerging therapies, yes, they hold great promise, and not everything which had been tried, but a few is showing great promise, but we have just, I feel, in the starting stage. They should target the biological process, provide avenues for neuroprotection, and facilitate restoration. So that there are obviously hurdles like delivery methods, safety concerns, regulatory issues, and as I said, the development of reliable biomarkers to find whether whatever intervention we have done is working or not. The future of neurodegenerative treatment lies in the development of innovative and personalized approaches, and mainly it is in your hands. You people are in the background doing all these researches, identifying the basic pathology and how to change them so that we are sitting in the front, seeing the patients getting relief from their symptoms. And that is where I really salute each and every one of you and the great work you have done over the centuries and decades. So the goal today is to provide immediate relief. It is an optimal goal, ideal goal. How much of it is possible? We should make it possible. Immediate relief that should be sustained with long-term benefits, improve the quality of life for the patients. And my God, I have seen these caregivers suffering, and should improve the quality of life for the dedicated caregivers also. So once again, I thank each and every one of you involved for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much for the patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful talk about the immunotherapy, stem therapy, and gene therapy, and recent mitigation strategies for neurodegenerative disorder. Now the forum is open for the questions. Please, you can unmute your mic and you can raise your question, or you can type it in the chat window. The participants can feel free, and you can unmute your mic and you can ask your clarification.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I have heard your session, sir. It was very much nice, sir. Sir, I have one doubt, sir. We are giving so much treatment, sir. Through meditation, pyramid meditation, now they are saying they are achieving many things, sir. Is there possible like that, sir? Along
No,
with the supportive medicine, we are given so many treatments, traditional treatment, what are current therapy, everything I have heard, sir. The meditation like that, they are also giving so much results, sir. Can you add on that along with your treatment, sir?
ma'am, actually, as I said, these neurodegenerative disorders, it is not about a motor problem or a
Okay.
locomotor problem. Let me tell that very clearly.
Okay, sir.
It's almost always associated with this cognitive, psychological,
Okay,
and
sir.
sometimes psychiatric issues also.
Okay.
So
Okay,
any
sir.
form of treatment that converges everything
Okay, sir.
should have a reasonably, and there are many mechanisms by which all these things are achieved.
Yes, sir.
Speech therapy will help someone.
Okay.
Yoga, or as you said, meditation. These things may help
Yes,
certain
sir.
things. The problem is the motor symptoms.
Okay, sir.
These motor symptoms need definitive therapy so that they are alleviated, so that they
Okay,
can
sir.
be mobile around. Yes, I agree with you.
Okay,
These
sir.
cognitive and psychological aspects can be dealt with in any manner, whichever the
Yes, sir.
patient
Like a
prefers or
supportive
whichever the
treatment.
physician offers. Yes, it is only a
Okay.
supportive treatment. But the main problem is patient will say, I need to walk properly again. Make
Okay.
me walk again.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. These clinically available electrical stimulation techniques, yes, they are all, what can I say? For example, even if something is central supply is not working, you give current to a wire at some point of time, it goes to the other point. Not necessarily it should start from that central process alone. You can give it at any point of time in that in between, and it will conduct from that point itself. That is how all this electrical stimulation and other things are helping. But we want the original impulse to be developed from the brain, transmitted through the spinal cord to the end muscle. That is where the stimulation and the other things comes. They are all, yes, but to a very, very limited extent. It's a very limited extent only. So it is like we want the neurodegeneration is happening at the central nervous system as far as the peripheral nervous system. Yes, what we have today by physiotherapy, electrical stimulation, all other things are somehow managing to give a symptomatic relief. But the original response that should start, generate, and transmitted to the entire body, that is where we are looking at.
We have a question in the chat window. So in general, how the guide signal and tremor signal we are using in a research purpose, is it used in
Yes, sir.
hospital in India to diagnose PD, guide and tremor?
Yes, sir, it can definitely be useful. See, it shows us the frequency of the steps, the number of steps, and whatever, whether there is any imbalance or other things. We also use we have our own autonomic lab with which we do a lot of things. What happens when the patient is in supine position, semi-recumbent, and standing position. These things will definitely help in assessing. See, the main focus, what we look is not only it helps us in diagnose, but many times it helps us to rule out the problem also. It will say, no, this is not this. Many occasions it may not be able to tell what it is exactly, but many times we find, yes, this is definitely not this. So everything will help, madam. But ultimately, let me tell you, the patient wants relief. And only when we speak to them repeatedly and observe them repeatedly, we will be able to pick up what the real problem is. And for an 85 years old man, let me tell you, with limited mobility, it is not the patient alone who is important. We should also look at the caregivers, the patient. See, If there is an 85-year-old man, his son is the caregiver and he will be 60 years old. And most often it is the grandson who takes, and he will be very impatient. So we also have to look at what they need, how this 85-year-old gentleman should be in future, so that they will be able to manage. That is where we look at it. It's also very important. Yes, madam, as the question says, yes, yoga definitely will be helpful. But one important aspect which we, as a surgeon, I see is yoga and gym. These two cultures have, we are seeing lot of the spine issues at an younger age. So these are all very good, these physical therapies, these gyms and other things, when they are done right from childhood. Suddenly jumping into it, going to an unaccustomed, unusual position, sustained for a long time, prolonged duration, they do have an effect. So slowly, non-weight bearing, simple things, yes, they are definitely helpful, but don't overdo it in a very short span of time. With a lot of questions in the chat box.
Yes, sir. They're asking the difference between the fMRI images. When do you prefer fMRI and when do you prefer structural MRI? Maybe DAT scan image, something like that.
No, sir. Structural image is a basic and other things. Only when we want to look at these levels, we want to do this functional MRIs and other things. So functional MRI basically where we do is we suspect there is a problem which can be localized to this particular region. For example, I find that this particular patient is having a language dysfunction, which I feel is maybe because of this particular circuit involvement, or we may do a diffusion tensor imaging to look at that circuit, or whether that is where we use this functional MRI. Whether that region which I thought clinically could be the problematic region, whether it is actually fine or not. And most importantly, most times it gives a negative value. It says, no, that is not the problem. So every scan has some value in each and every problem. But ultimately, it has to be correlated with what the patient has. Our main idea is to treat the patient, not the scan. Treating the scanners. So every scan will give some input. So we'll have to consolidate all these things and deliver a good outcome for the patient.
Question, any factor which help in differential diagnosis. How can we differentiate other dementia and Alzheimer dementia?
Sir, we will have to sit session by session, lot of sessions with the patient. It's very difficult. There are lot of battery of tests and so many other mechanisms which can bring out. But here, we are dealing with a patient whose cognition is very limited. The capacity of the patient to understand your question and give answers is very, very limited. And the relatives, for example, if the wife happens to be the caregiver, over the years, she would have learned a lot of things. She will give you a lot of information. But if that is not the case, you cannot get any proper information from anyone else. It is really difficult. And most often, it is either the husband or the wife who gives the proper history. It needs lot of painstaking. Yes, image to a certain extent can help us in differentiation, but it is the manifestation that is important. It is a painstaking process. It's a long run process, and many times we are not able to complete that because the caregiver is not able to cope up with this question. But yes, it can be definitely differentiated based on age, imaging, and a lot of other factors.
There is another question whether AI-based machine learning tools are in practical clinical use.
Sir, actually this AI, I would like to expand it in a different way. Artificial intelligence, yes, but I would like to put it in a way like augmented intelligence. Okay. Because ultimately it is the human mind which has to converge all these things and put it into the betterment of the patient. For example, there have been so many things. For example, recently we had one infrared device which I was asked to evaluate, which people told that it will detect hematoma in the brain. So somebody with a road traffic accident, the moment he is into an ambulance, this will do that, and it will say there is a bleed in the brain which needs surgery, so that the hospital will be prepared to receive it and operate. So we evaluated it. This was artificial intelligence. We evaluated it. And that day, we did 3 emergency surgeries for bleed in the brain. And this particular machine did not become even one of the 3. And it picked up in 1 or 2 patients also, which also, yes. So it is like, how to say, ultimately we are sitting with the patient, all of us, the caregivers are sitting with the patient. To a reasonable extent, it will help us in the finer details where the super calculations and other things. But augmentation of human intelligence or natural intelligence is better compared to artificial intelligence. That is my take. I stand corrected, but that's what I have felt over the, because I'm doing a study with multiple All India Institute of Medical Sciences for artificial intelligence development model for head injuries, and 3 more studies in the same. So what I feel is augmentation of human and natural intelligence is better.
A few more questions. What is the augmentation limit for medication in Parkinsonism?
Parkinsonism, it depends on the tolerability. Generally, we take it 800 milligram to 1000 milligrams acid. And we usually start by around 220 to 250 milligrams. And we undertreat them, as I told you already. We underdiagnose them also deliberately. So slowly we increase. And at some point of time, when you are very close to the maximum tolerable limit, you try to do 1 or 2 other drugs which can be helpful. But at some point of time, you are never able to give the maximum tolerable dose, because by that time you lose the patient. So personally, I've seen my father, okay, so who had Parkinson's for almost 30 years. And for the last 3-4 years, yes, he was really suffering, but I was able to give that maximum dose, and he had a sudden death. I felt bad that at least for a week or 10 days I could have given him the maximum possible dose. So that is how this neurodegenerative disorders, it doesn't give a satisfaction of treating or helping to the patient, to the doctor, to the caregivers, to the family. It doesn't help anyone in any way. That is why these entities are a problem.
Okay. So recommend focus areas for innovators to focus in neurodegenerative disorders, proactive care devices.
Proactive care devices, yes, ma'am. They all definitely, when connected, I mean the bedwetting alarm or this coming out of this alarm and other things, they definitely are helpful only. They definitely are helpful. It gives an alarm, but the caregiver is also a very important aspect, because today I had a 93 years old man with a bleed in the brain. He was so adamant that he will walk to the restroom and has urine by himself only. Morning 4:45 has been a... See, the alarm, yes, gets picked up, but how to calm him down and make him understand that he already has a catheter and he can do it on his own. That is the biggest problem which we have. It prevents these falls. It tells us that he is awake, he is doing something. But ultimately, how do we stop him from doing that? That is where we want to. Yes, these are definitely very, very helpful. Every small thing is definitely helpful. It gives us an alarm, traces the alarm for the caregiver, because it is very difficult to day in and day out, years together, manage somebody with these problems. Yes, they are definitely helpful.
Generic question: how do you diagnose Alzheimer?
How do we diagnose? Yes, ma'am, we have to sit with a lot of sessions, questionnaires, find out from the patient's relatives, look at the videos of the patient's behavior. It varies. See, one patient forgot he had breakfast. He will eat for 4 times, 3 to 4 times. Ultimately, the stomach will be full, start vomiting. This will repeatedly happen. So this also we had a doubt. Finally, we decided it is not. So there are a lot of behavioral changes. We need to look at these videos, spend time with these caregivers and the patient also. And yes, this PET CTs today, this diffusion tensor imagings, we are all able to do at that hydration level, molecular level, the circuit level, the metabolic activity, so that also has helped. Yes, madam, definitely acetylcholine concentration will definitely give clue. Definitely.
Okay. Sir, I have a very generic question. In general, protein biomarkers, beta amyloid in case of Alzheimer and alpha-synuclein.
Yes, sir.
In literature and in research, we do take, for example, in case of Parkinson disease, we do take tau protein biomarker.
Yes, sir.
As well as we do take SBR values.
Yes.
We do fusion, everything engineering domain we are doing, both from MR images as well as from DAT scan images.
Yes, sir.
Is it clinically relevant? Clinically, any relevant application or research is going on, sir, in this domain for real-time application?
No, sir. As of now, we do not have, sir, because it's all in definitely experimental stage, and it happens in a very, very minuscule, very small population of patients. And one thing which we see is, like between an open surgery and a minimally invasive surgery, a patient will prefer this deep brain stimulation, even though they know it will be there for only 10 to 12 years, and now patient may be in 50, 10 to 12 years, then we do not know the outcome, whether it will be helpful or not. But other therapies may give a long-term outcome to them, but they don't have the inclination to go towards them. That is where we have a problem. The easier available, that's what I'm trying to tell you repeatedly, they need results, immediate results. Yesterday not able to walk, today able to walk fine. Yes, DBS you do, I'm able to do that. I'm able to adjust everything on myself. I'm happy doing it. Let the problem come 10 years later or 15 years later. That is one problem, sir. So these are showing results, but the other things are not showing results. They are not able to. They see videos of all the patients with Parkinson's who have undergone DBS and how their lifestyles have dramatically changed. That is one place we should, unless we start showing results, then only we can achieve these things. From patient's perspective, I'm telling you, sir.
Okay. Sir, do you foresee markets for deep brain stimulation in India?
Definitely, sir.
Definitely.
Yes.
Is there any way for new cells to be generated by neurogenesis, or can we induce neuroplasticity by any way for them to do their daily activities?
Sir, it has been going on for many years now, but we have not seen these results, predominantly because of two things, sir. One, this is being used as an end stage. People generally try everything and finally decide, let us see this also. That is one thing. Because the chronicity and almost the end stage of these disease processes, it is very difficult to get a good result from them. That is the biggest challenge I think we all will face in future. But in immediate results, things which show, they're happy to grab it. And it has a very rapid clearance, very low half-life, and there are so many other things. So in that aspect also, regeneration has not yet been documented, sir, clearly.
Okay. What about varicose and DVT? Is the guide analysis would be a preventive measure for these diseases?
So basically, this DVT, varicose vein, is a problem of prolonged standing. So that is one thing. Yes, definitely, if there is an alarm or if there is a way of making him make that walk, at least in a short gap intervals, just remind him, yes, definitely that will help. One, it is seen in bus conductors, tea shop people, and all those things. It has been traditionally affecting people like that only, and some surgeons also who do prolonged surgery. And DVT, yes, that is also very, very useful. And when somebody is walking, we are not bothered about the DVT at all. Somebody is moving their legs, we are not bothered about this DVT and other things. It is taken care of. But varicose, yes, definitely will be very helpful.
So, in general, woman health issue, menstruation disorder, PCOD, etc., can be reflected in neurosignal.
I am not fully aware of that, sir. There are studies going on. PCODs and other things, yes, they are all related somewhere with this, but I am not sure about that. I don't have experience with that. PCODs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your patience answering despite your health issues. Thank you for your long session.
Sir. Yes.
Thank you for your long session and answer for your extensive questions from the audience.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, we are privileged to have you during this session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Participant, please stay back. We will wait for the next resource person to join. Please. Thank you. Dear participants, anybody is facing difficulty in joining the meeting? I'm getting certain request, but I don't find the request option. If you have anything, please message me.
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, next session is also going to be there today itself, sir.
Yes, madam. The resource person is joining in 2 minutes. Yes, madam.
Okay, sir.